sitting here at Newcastle, and I got here via South Africa. Flew into London. I've been on a tour of sorts, a strange serendipitous research project of the world, making work generated by the sites that I visit, just being led by walls and being led by projects. It's hard to really say when I really began because it's been so long on the road. It was a no-brainer to just hop on over, return a year later, make it a sort of second annual visit, if you will, and continue where I left off in some sort of fashion, using Biker as a foundation for the work that I've been producing, which is still very topical in regard to the development of Biker Wall. It has always remained a source of inspiration for me, especially considering it is council housing and has now shifted over to a trust. And it's just a remarkable environment. I spent a lot of time with David, and we both share a true passion in common for high modernist architecture and new town council development, public housing, whatever you call it, wherever it is, these kinds of environments. And so spent a lot of time just searching through them, looking for them, finding them in the middle of demolition, or potentially chancing upon some real gems, visiting exhibitions. And it's been a really wonderful time here. Super comfortable. I haven't done any illegal work, kept it really chill, because I've still got 2 months ahead of me on the road, if not more. This approach to muralism and street art in general, whether it be illegal or completely sanctioned, spawned from my older practice, which I felt that something was missing. You know, I was producing work for a sort of intuitive place that I couldn't necessarily explicitly explain. Very difficult to articulate per se, but it was these animal-man hybrids that were very much related or responding to the zeitgeist of environmental degradation and this post-apocalyptic vision of where late capitalism is going, and this notion of unsustainability that was most definitely brought into a consciousness through like an inconvenient truth. But I'm more interested in the sociological impacts of how we determine our own landscapes and who determines how we live and how we navigate those spaces that have either been informally created by the residents in the streets or authoritatively produced from a top-down process through urban planning and various architectural histories. Street art plays a small role in that redefinition of our landscapes. And as it moves towards that place, I think it's important to maybe maintain a strange attachment to style and personal style. That is a hindrance, in my opinion, for my own self, because I see my own style just as a way of thinking and a way of seeing and then reinterpreting. But I wish it would be even more fluid and more responsive and less constrained to a trajectory. But at the same time, the iterative working process lets you build that style. But I would like to see street art that is more oriented towards an input feedback conversation that is more fluid and less of an asset. Street art has always been at a very dangerous conjuncture, which is this potential movement towards a neo-pop, like a post-neo-pop, strange, disembodied imagery that comes under this massive umbrella that's of course impossible to categorize, a movement that is literally practiced all over the world, from the biggest to the cities to the smallest villages. But I see this careerism and this very big accentuation or emphasis on the commodity, which is of course something that cannot be denied, and something that we all participate in the reproduction of our own work, in our own images. But I wanted to go away from the guerrilla marketing. And one way to ensure that you move farther away from guerrilla marketing that is disguised as street art or public art is to work more specifically with each place. So have the place inform the work rather than the work be imposed upon the place, and attempt to loosen these processes. So if you have to work quickly and you cannot consult a community prior to the mural going out, then it's important to lose all sort of attachment to that piece and whatever happens to it. You take an approach to the legal practice, which is you put up a poster and then the weather or any sort of other interference or interaction then takes hold, and that's a perfectly fine rhythm. And I believe that the same must be done for murals.